Good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily. I am your host, Pearl Davis, and this is another episode of Pearl Daily. A couple announcements before we start the show. The first is that we do have memberships that you can support us on, theaudacitynetwork.com. There is a $10 a month membership and an $80 a month membership. This helps us fund our documentaries, bringing in guests to the studio, and other upgrades because we are currently demonetized on the channel. Um, the next announcement is that we are currently on Spotify. So if you want to listen to the episodes on Spotify on your way to work, the link to that is in the description. And I think that's it for the beginning anyway. So what? Oh, right. And on the Audacity channel, I am going to be looking at the Audacity chat first. So if you want me to interact with you during the show, I am going to be looking at the live stream that's on the Audacity channel because we are live on there too. Okay, so our first story today that I wanted to go over, I generally tend to cover relationships and intersexual dynamics, but occasionally I will touch on politics when I think it is important. So we recently had the VP debates, and there was a clip that I saw from one of the debates that I thought was a little bit of simping, but I thought it was strategic simping. So I want to show you guys the clip. One second.
Grew up in a working class family in a neighborhood where I knew a lot of young women.
Stop. Hold on. Okay, so this is always what they try to get Republicans on. As you guys know, women are the biggest swing voters, so we need their vote for the election. And in order to get their vote, conservatives have to shy away and simp a little bit on the abortion topic. Speaking of simping, today's show is sponsored by Chalk.com. Testosterone levels are low and something needs to be done about it. Chalk is on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you'll know better, you're more capable of making decisions, taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack on Chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Chalk provides the highest quality herbal supplements clinically studied to boost your testosterone. Their tongue cat is wild harvested from the Malaysian rainforest and is studied in double-blind human trials to boost free testosterone levels 87% in 21 days. Use my name, Pearl, as your coupon code, and you'll get 25% off site-wide on Chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Coupon code PEARL. Boost your testosterone naturally and supercharge your masculinity. Don't be a simp. Okay. Oh, I left the blueberry one. Okay. So we have JD Vance, and obviously the one issue they're going to try to get conservatives on is abortion. Many people, myself included, believe that abortion is murder. And it's not something that we want to compromise on. Unfortunately, if I had to predict, I don't see abortion going anywhere. Knowing that, conservatives during the election are going to shy away a little bit from this topic.
You know, I grew up in a working class family in a neighborhood where I knew a lot of young women who had unplanned pregnancies and decided to terminate those pregnancies because they feel like they didn't have any other options. And, you know, one of them is actually very dear to me. And I know she's watching tonight, and I love you. And she told me something a couple years ago that she felt like if she hadn't had that abortion, that it would have destroyed her life because she was in an abusive relationship. And I think that what I take from that as a Republican who proudly wants to protect innocent life in this country, who proudly wants to protect.
Now, again, the accountability point of view would be, well, if you were in an abusive relationship, Bad choices have consequences. And if you're having sex unprotected in an unstable relationship, you have to deal with the consequences. But in 2024, as women, we have a lot of bailouts for our bad decisions. So that objectively, not a great choice. And then we're given technology to make it go away.
The vulnerable is that my party, we've got to do so much better of a job at earning the American people's trust back on this issue where they frankly just don't trust us. And I think that's one of the things that Donald Trump and I are endeavoring to do. I want us as a Republican Party to be pro-family in the fullest sense of the word. I want us to support fertility treatments. I want us to make it easier for moms to afford to have babies. I want it to make it easier for young families to afford a home so they can afford a place to raise that family. And I think there's so much that we can do on the public policy front just to give women more options.
Now, as women, I don't blame him for pandering a little bit because I think that's what they have to do. But as women, I like to be able to identify it. Do we have options? Yes or no? Do we have the option to work? Yes. Do we have the option for daycare? Yes. Do we have the option to stay home? Yes. Do we have the option to go to school and save money for a decade before we have children? Yes. Do we have the option to use Plan B? Yes. Do we have the option to get abortion? Yes. Objectively, we have all of those choices. So this is pandering a little bit. Jeffrey, on the Audacity site, I'm going to get to Melania's statement next.
Now, of course, Donald Trump has been very clear that on the abortion policy specifically, that we have a big country and it's diverse. And California has a different viewpoint on this than Georgia. Georgia has a different viewpoint from Arizona. And the proper way to handle this, as messy as democracy sometimes is to let voters make these decisions, let the individual states make their abortion policy. And I think that's what makes the most sense in a very big, a very diverse, and let's be honest, sometimes a very, very messy and divided country.
Okay. I think this is smart. I would almost suggest the Conservative Party going to the point of being pro-choice. Now, I know that conservatives do not want to hear this. I know that abortion is morally wrong. I've seen abortions and it is disgusting. I can't believe it's legal. But we have to be smart. Do you guys think it's likely in our lifetime that there will be a repeal the 19th? The answer to that is no, unfortunately. This isn't Make-A-Wish. This isn't what I want to be true. This is what the market currently is. So knowing this, politicians are going to have to cater to female voters in order to win some of them over. Okay. So Melania also released a statement. And why isn't this coming up? Okay, let me go up to Twitter. So Melania also released a statement on abortion recently. Abortion. I'm sure if I go on Twitter, it'll be one of the first ones that come up. The link didn't work. Okay.
Is a fundamental.
And I think this was really smart. We all know Melania is not going to say something without the approval of her husband, I would assume, right? I mean, he's a pretty powerful guy. And she put out a statement saying that she is pro-choice. Now, Melania has an appeal to women. I know there are many people, maybe liberal women, that maybe don't like her because she's married to Trump, but she's fashionable, she's likable, she's elegant, she has a female appeal. So I think it was really smart of them to have Melania make a statement backing up the Republican Party and saying that they're not as anti-abortion as the left is saying.
Individual freedom is a fundamental principle that I safeguard. Without a doubt, there is no room for compromise when it comes to this essential right that all women possess from birth: individual freedom. what does my body, my choice really mean?
I think this was smart. I don't think this was an accident. I think it was smart right before election season. Again, guys, many people think that they're morally superior because they have a pro-life stance. And that's how they view themselves, that they have higher morals than pro-choice. At the end of the day, that has not been effective in reducing abortion. If anything, I would say maybe birth control has been effective in reducing abortion. But the year after Roe versus Wade was overturned, we had an increase in abortions. So as much as, even though I'm pro-life, I have to think, how can we be smart to get the best person in office that we can? Now, this could backfire. It's possible this could backfire after the election. Maybe they'll lose conservatives and they still won't vote Trump. I don't know. But the purpose of me saying this is to say, I don't think conservatives should write them off. We have to understand where Trump's coming from. They need the female vote. We don't win by catering. Well, then go full pro-life. Let me know how that goes for you. Okay. So the next thing I saw on Twitter was I saw a clip of Myron going viral. And knowing that I've done panel
To be honest,
shows,
I don't really.
I wanted to give my perspective on this clip. So it says, Myron suffers an emotional breakdown. He kicks all the girls off the podcast to create a sausage party. He has an episode. All the women happily leave while laughing at him. Myron Gaines is an emotional, hysterical, irrational person on all of social media. So what tends to happen is most men have never stood up to women in their lifetime. So when they see a guy saying no to women, being maybe a bit rude to them or not simping, what they tend to do is they rush to the women's defense. This is common. Once you see this stuff, you can't unsee it. And what tends to happen in these shows is you have a 2-hour panel. Usually these panels can be between 2 hours and 5 hours long. Generally, when someone gets kicked off, the host of the show, we never want to do it. You read them the rules before the show, and generally when they get kicked off, it's after 1 hour, 2 hours of them being very disrespectful. But unfortunately, it's very normalized for women to be disrespectful in 2024. And men are so used to it that whenever they see a man stand up for himself, a lot of them rush to each other's rush to the women's defense. Even though, remember, these are grown adult women who know what podcast they're coming on. They know the rules of the show. And what they generally do is they generally are disrespectful. So let me show you.
Okay, so to be honest, I don't really give a fuck.
I know, exactly. So this is
That's why I gave the response.
Yeah,
that I
so
gave.
how about this? You can get the fuck.
Okay. So she's starting it there. But again, because women pretty, right? Women beautiful, women pretty, they can do disrespectful things, smile and laugh, and men are just expected to take it. And other men come in and they defend the women. So me.
Okay, so to be honest, I don't really give a fuck.
I know, exactly. So this is
That's why I gave the response.
Yeah,
that I
so
gave.
how about this? You can get the fuck off the show. Yeah. How about that? Get the fuck off. Yeah. If you get fuck, it's fine. The disrespectful fucking bit. Matter of fact, real quick.
She starts it. She was the one who started swearing, right? She was the one who said, I don't give an F. And when you start swearing at the host, and generally I've been on Fresh and Fit, they read you the rules before the show. There's clips of Myron all over social media. I don't feel bad for you when you get kicked off and swore at. I just don't.
Any of you bitches want to get up and leave, you can feel free to leave. Because at the end of the day, you guys are all sluts anyway, so I don't give a fuck. If you want to get off, get up, get the fuck out. Matter of fact, oh yeah, get the fuck out of here.
There we go.
Get the fuck out of here, man.
Now look, would I say it like that? No. But what women tend to do is they tend to think they can be disrespectful and get nothing in return. When I did shows, it would be very rare that men would talk to me like that. The only time that ever really happened to me where men were overly disrespectful is maybe a crazy panel show, or I don't know, it didn't happen that often, guys. And maybe a very feminine guy, but men generally understand that when they roll their eyes at people, when they're disrespectful, when they start swearing at somebody, that there's consequences. And I've been on this show before, and generally speaking, if you follow the rules, you're fine. And I was on the show one time and there was a physical fight that broke out and there was 2 women kicked off. And I remember there was a clip of the woman getting kicked off that went viral and everyone was saying, "Oh, Myron, he's so mean, da 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 da." And I remember thinking that woman disrespected him for 2 hours, but it's amazing. Women do it first, and if men respond, then they're the bad guys.
Hey, shit's ridiculous. Get the fuck up out of here. All you fucking shit. I'm gonna end this shit myself. Get these hoes out of here, man. End this shit myself. These fucking stupid ass bitches come in here and annoy the fuck out of me, bro. Get the fuck up out of here.
Oh, yo, it's the first?
Happy birthday, Fred.
Sorry, Myra.
These fucking bitches out of here, man. Get them the fuck out of here. This stupid fucking lesbian bitch talking shit. Get the fuck up out of here, man.
Show Castle, man. Yo, show Castle, man.
I'm gonna be honest.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, guys, that would be me if I was still doing these panels. I had to stop. But what I'm pointing out is I get really tired of people babying adult women. They're adults. They're over the age of 20. You know what you're doing. They know what show they're going on. And we always preface in these shows that if you don't like it, you're welcome to leave at any time. So, but because the women sometimes get emotional, again, that's their greatest tool. They get emotional, they overreact. And then the white knights come in. So there was another one. This was a white knight in action. Oh my gosh, this was the greatest clip I've ever seen. Because when I hear you guys crying.
What I had seen 2 women.
When I hear you, not you guys, but when I hear my critics and detractors crying about the way women are spoken to in a show, crying about the way that the women don't know this or don't know that about the show or that they're ambushed. I just keep thinking, do you guys think they're children? They're adult? You mean adult women that can vote, that can... And they never show the initial disrespect, ever. Ever. Whenever they cover this stuff, it's always Myron mean, Brian mean, women victims. They never show the hour of disrespect that we put up with before kicking them out after we read them the rules. And you're...
One who was a mother and the one who was about to do ministry in the morning request from what I had seen 2 women, and one who was a mother and the one who was about to do ministry in the morning request to leave after the time that was communicated, going into on a weeknight to leave, and then a 3rd request, I believe from Nicolette, saying she was tired and she wanted to go home before being offered.
I can't believe how irresponsible these women are. A mother irresponsibly decided to go on a podcast on a weeknight along with a woman who had another engagement in the morning, thinking they could fit all of that through. These are irresponsible people, Luke. Did you send any of them a DM telling them that it was irresponsible of them when they have children at home and that they may have to run back to go on a podcast on a work night?
None of you guys ask that question. Not you guys in my chat. You're amazing. But they never ask that question. Guys, I would have mothers of 4 at my studio until 2 a.m. And I would constantly think, who is watching these kids? Who is,
Did you tell any of these women how irresponsible they were?
No.
Of course not. Just Brian's fault, right? Because the poor women, they're just...
Oh, this is how you... I get... The poor women, they're adults. Yes. Yes, and men never get that sympathy. If the men are told to stay late on a show, do they get sympathy? No. If the men are disrespectful and they get kicked off, do they get sympathy? No. If a man gets sworn at, does he get sympathy? No. But because they're women, it's always poor women.
Angels, they're angels, and Brian's exploiting them for his own personal.
Oh, that's the word. Oh, that grinds my gears. Exploiting. Oh, exploiting the women. Oh my goodness. The adult women who know exactly where they're going on what show, who listen to the rules, know the topic, are being exploited. It blows my mind. It's the simping. I can't take it anymore, guys. I just cannot take it. I literally can't.
Not a single message, right, Luke? Nothing. Just Brian.
Yeah. That was amazing. That was amazing. Or they'll say, oh, that it's the type of women you bring on. And I would say, okay, I went to Ireland, interviewed women there. Do they count? Okay, I went to my hometown, interviewed women there. Do they count? Okay, what women do you guys want on the show? Do you want to recruit them? Why don't you bring? You guys drive me nuts. You guys, it's anything. It's you know what? It is anything to give women the benefit of the doubt. They will die on this. They will die on the women or children. And ladies, I think this is offensive. I think that we as adults should be offended when men treat us like children. We're not children. You're an adult. We pay taxes. We can vote. So when guys like this are always bailing us out, I think we should be offended. Do you want your daughter, if you're a woman and you have a daughter, do you want her to date a man that is constantly giving her the benefit of the doubt? Constantly treating her like a kid? Would that be helpful? Does that make someone a better person? No. Okay, I'm done. That's it. That's my rant. But I saw these clips and it brought me back to my panel show days. Oh, it brought me back. Okay. So the real topic today, actually nothing to do with these two. I wanted to talk about Tia Mowry. So Tia Mowry is reflecting on life 1 year after divorcing her ex of 14 years, Corey Hardrict. On Wednesday, Tia shared a candid video on her Instagram recapping the life lessons she's learned since her split. Recovering from a divorce feels like a whirlwind journey. So remember, this is a pattern. A lot of times when it's a social media thing, it's always a journey. Tia says in a voiceover as she sat in bed, I found out through the whole process that divorce isn't a place where we arrive. It's entering a new chapter in life with many nuances and no one-size-fits-all handbook. One moment you're relieved, feeling like you've conquered something significant. Then suddenly emotions hit you all over again. It's a side of divorce that often isn't discussed, especially when the kids are involved. Tia and Corey share 2 children together, their 12-year-old son, Cree, and their 5-year-old daughter, Cairo. So these are the 4. Tia added that she wants to be a role model for her children, showing them what resilience and self-care looks like. She also opened up about trying different things to help soothe and release the emotional buildup living inside of her with activities like exercise, journaling, meditation, and therapy. I don't think, I've met men that came back from war or that fought in Iraq that were not this dramatic. I'm just being honest, guys. I look at this and I think, does this scream mature adult woman? Sometimes I think that a lot of these divorcees are mentally still teenagers, like 15 tops. I'm going to show you the video in a little bit, but while reflecting on everything she's been through, Tia became emotional and began to cry. Someday, I believe I'll be able to look back on this time with nothing but warmth and gratitude for the beautiful children brought into my life and the stronger version of myself that emerged from experience. As women, we take our power back by sharing our stories and bringing any deep shame we hold from the experience to light. I love you guys. The game star and her ex were married 14 years after tying the knot in 2008. The two initially met back in 1999. Tia announced their separation in October 2022, and they officially divorced in April 2023. Tia concluded her video by asking her followers to share their experiences with divorce to collectively help the healing process. You can check out the full video below. So we're going to play this.
Recovering from a divorce.
Let me see if I can make it full
Recovering
screen.
from a
Let me
divorce.
see if I go to her Instagram, if I can make it full screen. Where? Let me see if I think there is a better link on the top. Oh, here we go. See if I can. Let me zoom in. Okay.
Divorce is in a place where we arrive.
Okay, wait, let me refresh the page. Turn this on, go.
I found that through the process, divorce is in a place where we arrive. It's entering a new chapter of life with many nuances and no one-size-fits-all handbook. One moment you're relieved, feeling like you've conquered something significant. Then suddenly, waves of emotions hit you all over again. It's a side of divorce that isn't often discussed, especially when there are kids involved.
Do you see how mad this kid is? He's so sick of being on his mom's social media. But see, this is using your kids and your personal life as a prop for attention. And generally what this means is it's a proxy because they don't have people in their real life.
You strive to be a role model, teaching them resilience and self-care. You try different things to soothe and release emotional buildup with exercise, journaling your thoughts, meditation, and seeking therapy to cope with the breakup and the dreams you had for the future. It may sound cliche, but time truly does have a way of soothing pain. Someday, I believe I'll be able to look back on this time with nothing but warmth and gratitude.
Can you imagine being this kid? Your mom just divorced your dad and now she's saying, kids, take this hug for social media. Like you just want to go to your mom and you want to get a hug, right? You want to say, Mom, I just want a hug and I want it to be amazing and I want to feel so good. And then your mom says, yeah, that's fine. But let me just record this for my Instagram. Okay, honey, we can do it. Just hold on. Let me just set the camera here. Okay, kids, come on. Can you imagine what life is like? Oh, wait, keep going.
For the beautiful children brought into my life and the stronger version of myself that emerged from the experience. For anyone who is going through this, I would love to hear your experience. Share your story because there's power in dialogue. As women, we take our power back by sharing our stories and bringing any deep shame we hold from this experience into the light. I love you guys. Tia.
Now, what is the problem with this? She is a high-earning woman. Rich people have different options and different lives. She is going to survive off of one income if she's been smart with her money, and she will be fine the rest of her life. Many women that make the same decision will not. In her montage, she is doing some trip with an elephant. Do you think that's an option for the average woman's budget in this economy? And the other issue we get is we have a plethora of comments. I love you. I know this journey hasn't been an easy one, but I applaud you for doing the work to heal. My girl has been nonstop growing, working, evolving, and healing. So it's all these women encouraging her. And there wasn't one that said, hey, the grass may not be greener on the other side. Get back with your husband. Not one. Hey, you might be making a mistake. It's all women pushing women to make bad choices. And what I love is So many people say I make things up. They say I'm just like making up some of these things. Yeah, dumb. And I go on TikTok and there's a plethora of women just posting their divorce stories.
Not.
And I want you guys to ask the question, does this look like one, I want you to take notice of a couple things. These women come from all different types of backgrounds that I'm going to show you. And I want you to ask the question if this makes it seem like they take marriage as a serious commitment.
Not okay. I am not okay. I'm not fine. I don't feel capable right now. Everything feels heavy, including my period, which seems to have great timing. I don't have it all together right now, and I don't want to pretend like I do. Having your shit together is overrated, and it's a lie. It's okay to take a break or even break down. It's okay to reach out because you are not a burden. And if you decide to record these moments for the internet to share in, that's okay too, because it is one less moment we have to feel alone in these times. Well, I thought I'd remind you and myself that it is okay not to be okay, and that you don't have to fake your happiness or push through it to be seen as strong or capable. Sometimes the strong thing to do is to just sit in this space until you feel ready, or to just admit that I am.
By the way, this was one of the top things that came up for divorce journey. Let me pull up the next one. So there's one. Wait, that's the same one? Hold on. Oh, hold on. I messed this up. Let me go back to the link. What? No. Okay, there we go.
And having time away from the people seem to think that getting a divorce and having time away from the kids is a luxury, but I feel like it's anything but that. This might just be because I don't always have friends and family nearby to hang out with me, so it can feel really lonely. The first thing I did today was go to the gym for a quick chest and cardio workout. Afterwards, I headed to the pool because the weather was beautiful and I wanted to start my new book. Reading has been the only thing helping me these days, and I was fully prepared to spend the day here until I heard a buzzing behind my seat and found this massive hive of bees. I cannot begin to tell you how fast I booked it out of there. I didn't even make it to page 5 of my book until I made a run for it.
These are moms with kids, right? This is something you would think to see from someone early 20s, teenager, right? Mothers with kids vlogging their divorce.
I was going to try to eat healthy today, but honestly, after that fiasco, I deserve some In-N-Out. Also, look at this bookmark I found of younger me today that will help remind me of the love I deserve. I'm only 6 months into the divorce, but my entire identity has revolved around being a mom for the last 10 years, so adjusting has been hard, but I'm excited for what comes next. People seem to...
Well, okay. Get the first one, maybe? No, it's this woman. If I lost the link, I'm going to be so mad. No, the best one, guys. I think I copied and pasted the same link twice. Okay.
An unglamorous day in my life is a divorcee moving on to a sailboat. First, I got up. An unglamorous day. An unglamorous day in my life is a divorcee moving on to a sailboat. First, I got up, and then we drove to Bed Bath & Beyond. We had to go to 2 Bed Baths & Beyond because the order that I wanted, just they couldn't fill it at one. So we went to the first one, which was an hour away, 3 shopping carts worth. But look at how cute that these green pool towels are going to be. I'm going to embroider them with the boat name, I think in like a peachy color. This was the car after the first stop. After that, we went to Cava and got lunch. And then after we ate lunch, we went to another Bed Bath & Beyond and to Target, where we bought cleaning supplies. And then we went to Best Buy, which I forgot to film, but we got an iPad there, and then drove back to the boat. This is the car all full. I didn't realize it was a still picture, and had to load it up in these carts and take it back to the boat. And that's my boat. And here is all of the mess in the kitchen. and we just kind of unloaded that. It's a work in progress for sure. And then we did some work. I tried to set up the iPad. It's not going well. And then we realized that we forgot to buy salt and pepper and also food. We meant to go, but we didn't. And so we had toast on eggs for dinner. But I actually think that this content will get a lot more interesting. Maybe it won't, and my life's over. Okay, bye.
Yeah, someone said, and who's paying for all this? I don't know. Guys, I am so sad. I lost the best
After
link.
choosing
The best one. It was so funny. Oh, okay.
Healing after choosing to get a divorce can be unpredictable. Most days I'm fine and I know I made the right decision, but I'm also ignoring that scary voice in my head that's telling me that I'm not going to be able to make it on my own. I have to tell myself every day that everything's going to be fine and it'll work itself out. I got married at 19 and I've been a stay-at-home mom the majority of the last 10 years, so he's all I've ever known. These days I'm just winging it and living under the law of assumption. I deserve happiness and everything will work out the way it's supposed to.
We got to stop saying that. We got to stop saying that everything's going to work out statistically. We're in a lot of debt. But I hope it works out. I never wish anything bad on anyone, but I wouldn't bet on it.
Or at least that's what I tell myself. I'm taking everything one day at a time, but thoughts haunt my mind with things like, will my kids hate me one day for leaving? Will I ever be happy? I wish choosing my...
They might hate you one day for leaving. Yeah, a lot of kids do. I wouldn't be surprised.
...self for once in my life didn't make me feel so guilty and so alone.
Okay, well... Oh, that's the same girl, I guess. Well, I hope it works out, Anyways, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Our next story is talking about how bosses are firing Gen Z grads just months after hiring them. Here's what needs to change. After complaining for the better part of 2 years that Gen Z grads are difficult to work with, bosses are no longer all talk, no action. Now that rapidly firing young workers who aren't up to scratch just months after hiring them. According to a new report, 6 in 10 employers have already sacked some of their Gen Z workers they hired fresh out of college earlier this year. Intelligent.com, a platform dedicated to helping young professionals navigate the future of work, surveyed nearly 1,000 U.S. leaders. It has found that the class of 2024's shortcomings will impact future grads. After experiencing a raft of problems with new hires, 1 in 6 bosses says they're hesitant to hire college grads again. Meanwhile, 1 in 7 bosses have admitted that they may avoid hiring them altogether next year. 3/4 of companies surveyed said their recent graduates' hires were unsatisfactory in some way. So, Gen Z grads are unprepared and unprofessional. So, where is it all going wrong for fresh-faced grads? Employers gripe with young people today is their lack of motivation or initiative. 50% of the leaders surveyed cited that the reason things didn't work out with their new hire. Bosses also pointed to Gen Z being unprofessional, unorganized, and having poor communication skills as their top reason for having to sack new grads. Leaders say that they have struggled with the latest generation's tangible challenges, including being late to work and meetings often, not wearing office-appropriate clothing, and using language appropriate for the workspace. I think this is a lot of social media. I think that contributes to the lack of professionalism. Now, more than half of hiring managers have come to the conclusion that college grads are unprepared for the world of work. Meanwhile, over 20% say they can't handle the workload. In reality, colleges know that their students are wholly unprepared for the workforce and that they have some stepping up to fill the gaps. For example, Michigan State University is teaching students how to handle a networking conversation, including how to look for signs the other party is starting to get bored and that it's time to move on. Meanwhile, a high school in London is trialing a 12-hour school day to prepare pupils for adult life. When asked What would make college grads more hireable? Bosses responded a positive attitude, and more initiative. Intelligence Chief Education and Career Development Advisor Hugh Neugen advises Gen Z grads to observe how other workers interact to understand the company culture at any new firm they may join. From there, it's easier to gauge what's an appropriate way of engaging with each other. Take the initiative to ask thoughtful questions, seek feedback, and apply it to show your motivation for personal growth. Build a reputation for dependability by maintaining a positive attitude, meeting deadlines, and volunteering for projects, even those outside your immediate responsibilities. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy recently echoed that an embarrassing amount of your success in your 20s depends on your attitude, and the reason why is simple. Managers would rather work with positive people. Some leaders have even insisted that the can-do attitude at work will advance some young workers' careers more than college degrees. Richard Branson, the billionaire founder of Virgin, has repeatedly urged young people to ditch university in favor of the school of life. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg recently claimed that raw talent and personality trumps credentials. To that end, Cisco's top executive in the UK, David Meads, dropped out of school at 16 years old. He told Fortune that attitude and aptitude are more important than whatever letters you have after your name or whatever qualifications you got on a sheet. So how could this happen? How on earth could we have students coming right out of university being unprepared for real life? Could you imagine? How on earth did this happen? So I went to TikTok to look at people's what they do in a day in corporate America.
In the life working in tech blog.
Girl, what you mean? We all getting laid off, boo. Or you're an employee like me who, thank God, I made it through the layoffs, but I'm fucking terrified now having just seen a 10% of my org cut. And yeah, I'm not going to sit here and do a happy-go-lucky, what I do in a day in the life of a software engineer. I'm just doing, okay? Because I'm fucking terrified. And this is all personal experience. My company literally earlier this week, like this Tuesday, went through layoffs, 1,500 positions cut, and they were all technology jobs. It's terrifying. And this is my second round of layoffs that I've made it through in the 6 years that I've worked at my company. And it was terrifying the first time. It was terrifying this time. And more, especially as I get older, I just realize how important it is to have multiple streams of income because I'm not built for this corporate life. Like, it is scary out here. If any of you guys are tech,
I like how she's talking about her company is looking to lay off people and then saying how she's not built for the corporate life. Why? Why would you do that?
workers that have been affected by the recent layoffs, my heart goes out to you guys. And I'm sure you guys are rock star employees. I'm sure you will find employment very soon. And if you're a tech worker who hasn't been affected by the layoffs, please make sure you're being smart with your money and that you have an emergency fund set up because one thing's for sure, you definitely don't want to be worrying about money while you're laid off. You just want to be able to focus on finding a new job and finding new opportunities. Don't let the money stress you out either.
Okay, so there's one. I'm going to keep going on the other things I found on TikTok about the job market right now. Oh,
girl, what you mean? We all getting laid off, boo? Or
guys, so I go on TikTok and I copy the links and I email them to myself. And I think I copied the same link twice today. Oh, that's sad. Okay, well, let me go back. Here we go. That's the divorce journey one. One second, guys. I just saw it. Just had it up out here. Then let me see. No, this is the same one. No, not that one. The second one, let me just double check that doesn't work. Okay, I must have done the same one. It's okay. I have one more. I would have had 3, but you know, it is what it is.
Break it down,
Okay, so now we got
break it down, that's the way we do it now. Attitude in the groove, getting into something new. Say goodbye to yesterday, future looking good to me. All together, raise your hands, time to party, time to dance. Come on.
I can't. Does that look like hard work? And we're gonna watch that one more time.
That's the way we do it now. Attitude in the groove, getting into something new. Say goodbye to yesterday, future looking good to me.
We are just smashing the patriarchy, really. Yeah, so that's what we have here. I can't imagine why Gen Z is getting laid off. I honestly, I think maybe some detectives in the chat could figure this out. I don't know. I don't know. Who starts work at 10 a.m.? Okay, guys, that is all the stories I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. And if you have any stories you want me to cover next week, please like the video on your way out, subscribe, and go to theaudacitynetwork.com. Please, guys, you know, maybe we can fly in Heidi from the people that watch from Twitter. Get the $10 a month or the $80 a year. You can also watch some of my old content that we had to remove because of the demonetization. Please like the video on your way out, subscribe, and I'll talk to you next time.